Are you a medieval ruler? Would you like some help building fine buildings such as a cathedral, a bell tower, or even a castle to expand your citadel? You need some help of some rather influential friends. Yes, it's Citadels. Hello, welcome to the Bottled Imp, exploring the realms of fantasy. My name is Ken Boyter, and today we are taking a look at Citadels. Now, this is a 2 to 8 player card-based game. This base game also comes with the Dark City expansion. Now, I have wanted to play this for a long time. It's been on my radar for a while. I've seen various different reviews, and it looked fun. So let's take a look at it and see if it really is fun. So, what exactly do you get in the box? It's a little small box, so it's mainly cards, and that's a good thing. So let's have a look. Yes, as I say, you do get cards. You get these district cards. You get, I think it's 80 of these district cards. And what they do is the district card will show you exactly how much it costs to build these buildings. And it also tells you what type of building it is. Cathedral, it's just a name. It has no relevance necessarily on the game. And it has a beautiful illustration of exactly what the building is that you are building. Plus it has the colour in the bottom corner there that denotes what colour the actual card is. So let's have a look at some other cards. We also have these character cards, and again it shows you exactly what they are. So you've got the nice illustration here. This one's a king and a number here. It also has a special ability, so each character card has a special ability, a number, a name, and a rather cool looking illustration. That's the bishop, that's the warlord, that's the assassin, etc, etc. Now, you also get some gold tokens, and they do sound like gold, kind of. And also you do get a player reference card, which is pretty good. It tells you what you do on your turn, and it also goes into the scoring at the end of the game. You also get a king marker, a nice little chunky wooden token there. Plus you also get in this edition, now this was printed I think 2014, this one you do get the Dark City expansion as well, and they are extra characters, as you can see here. We've got the navigator and the alchemist, and they're denoted by the little star symbol here. So if you did want to play with them, you can shuffle them in. If you didn't want to play with them, you can then take them out again, and they each have a special ability, like I say, and rather cool little illustrations. You also get in the Dark City expansion extra districts, and these ones actually have special abilities on them as well. Now, it does say in the rules to not play with those to begin with, because they are actually an expansion. So I would recommend, just play with the base game. So like I say, in the base game you get the district cards, and you also get the character cards as well. So what's the object of the game? Well, the object of the game is to score as many points as possible, and when the game finishes, obviously, not beforehand. And the way you do that is you need to be building districts. That's one way of scoring points. Now, when you've built districts, and as I say, these are the districts here, if you build 8 of them, the first person to build 8 of them, i.e. pay the gold cost and lay them down in front of them, that's the end of the game, and then you start scoring. So, how does a player take their turn? It's pretty simple. The setup is actually a bit more complicated than the actual game. That's what I found anyway. Because it's actually 2 to 8 players, there are variations on the actual setup. So, for example, a 2, 3 or 7 player will be different from, say, the other player counts setup, if that makes sense. So, if you're playing, say, a 4-player game, then what you would do is you would take the character cards and you will shuffle these so that they're random. You will then place one card down in the middle of the table, face down, so that nobody knows exactly what it is. Then what you would do is you would, again, you can shuffle them or just take the next 2, and you would place down 2 more of the character cards. And what that means is that everybody knows exactly what they are. Now, as this has happened, and this was random, if it's the king, that needs to go back in because the king does need to be in play. And then you shuffle them again and you pick another one. So everybody will know what 2 cards are not going to be played, plus everybody won't know what this one is. And that's kind of the key to it all, because that's where a bit of intrigue and mystery happens. Then what you do, the person who has the king marker, and it says in the rules the first time you play it, the first go, if you like, the first round, it's actually the oldest player takes the king marker. So it is good to be old for once. Anyway, so say that's me and I take that, then I get to look at the rest of the characters and I will be reading. So when you first play it, you have no idea what these special abilities really do. So you will pick one and, let's say I pick the assassin, for example. So I'll pick that face down, it's in secret. Then what I do is I will pass it to the player who's left of me and they will do the same. They will pick one and pass it on. Then I think, and I'll have to check the rules for this, but I think there will be one card that's always going to be discarded at the end of the drafting phase. And that means that the first player won't know what's in that card either. The last player will, because they're the ones that have chosen from it, but the other players won't. So this variation where you discard cards first, that's actually a really good mechanism because it means nobody knows exactly what other cards other people have. Deep breath. Hopefully that made sense to you. The actual way that you play the game is very simple. What you do is one of you will say the numbers, it's normally the person with the king marker, will say the numbers 1 through to 8, because there are 8 characters if you're playing the base game. And you can obviously, there's a list in the back of the rules if you want to read out the names as well. So you would say number 1, assassin, and then you wait. And if somebody has picked the assassin, so in my case it was me, I will then say yes, that's me, and I will place the card down in front of me. What that means is, that means that I will then evoke the special ability and then do that special ability and resolve it. And in this case it says, announce a character you wish to murder. The murdered character misses his entire turn. And that's why this discarding of cards is quite important, because I don't know what these 2 are. But I know that nobody's picked these. So then I have to think, well, what other characters are there? So I might say the Warlord, for example. Now you don't do this in the game, but let's find out if the Warlord's there. So the Warlord isn't there. So it is going to be in amongst the other players. So because it's still my turn, I've done my special ability, I then get to do an action. And an action consists of 2 things. I can either take 2 gold. Oh, and by the way, everybody starts with 2 gold and 4 district cards. You get 4 district cards to start off with. So on my go, I would take 2 gold, or if I didn't want to do that, I could then take 2 district cards from the top of the deck, and I could then choose which one I would like to build. So I would then keep one, and I would discard one by putting it at the bottom of the deck. Then I could go into my building phase. So if I've got my 4 other district cards and this one, I could then, if I have enough gold, play and pay the cost. So in this case it would be 2. I would simply put 2 gold back into the pool, and then I would put that in front of me to denote I've actually built it. Now you've noticed that they do have different colours, and that adds up at the end with the scoring. So if you get one card of each colour, then you get extra points for that. And then that is the end of my go. And then the Kingmaker would carry on reading out the numbers. So number 2, number 3, number 4. And then whenever the number's called out, if you've got that card, you would play it's your go in effect. You would then play that card. So for example, when the Warlord's called out, because I was the assassin and I named the Warlord, that person is out of the game. They don't get a turn for that round. Once you've gone through all the numbers, you will then repeat the process. So you would discard the cards. You will then take out what am I trying to say here? You would then have your goes when the cards are read out. Now the king, just to note, the king is the one that actually makes the king marker move to the other person. And that's quite important in the drafting phase because you get to go first. You get the more selection of the characters that you actually want. And once somebody has built 8 districts, that is the end of the game. So you keep doing the rounds until somebody has built 8 districts. Then you score up. So you get 1 point for every gold in your district, not in your hand. Every gold that's denoted here, so you get a point each for that. You also get 3 points for having at least 1 district in each of the 5 colours, which is why I was saying that getting different colours, that gives you a bit of a bonus at the end. You also get 4 points for the player who built their 8 cities first, and 2 points for anybody else that managed to build 8 cities, or districts I should say, as well. And the winner, like I say, is the one with the most points. What do I think? I think it's a fantastic game. It's so cool. Once you get your head around the drafting mechanism and putting the cards down at the beginning, it actually is pretty simple to play. You read out the cards and then you do your special ability. And each special ability has got a bit of take that factor where you can, have an effect on other characters and what they do. Sometimes you can take a district card or you can swap cards, that kind of thing. So it has this, it's a real satisfying game, if I can put it that way, because although it's simple to play, there is quite a lot of strategy involved. And as I say, once you start putting the Dark City expansion in, then you've got even more choice. You've got even more characters to choose from. So we really enjoyed this game, and the artwork is beautiful on it. It's really evocative. It's got character to the artwork. It's not a generic sort of medieval type town. Really full of character. The rules are very clear, although you do have to be precise with them. As I say, because that setup I did find a little bit fiddly. I've not played it with 8 players, but I'm sure it's quite a blast with 8 players. It might go on for a little bit longer. It's normally about 20 to 30 minutes, and it was one of those games that you just immediately wanted to play again because you start learning about the special abilities and then you start forming strategies. So the replayability is very, very high. Couldn't recommend it highly enough. It's a brilliant game. Thoroughly enjoyed Citadels. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed that review of Citadels. We have our own YouTube channel, so you can check out our other reviews, which is all things fantasy. Once again, thanks for watching, and remember, keep it unreal.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.